Good evening. They say you shouldn't believe everything you read, and that is particularly true when it comes to reports of giant squid attacks in the waters off Nanaimo. An outdoor magazine from Alberta wrote about a scuba diver who was dragged to his death by giant squid. Now, the article has raised eyebrows in Nanaimo because divers, including the Nanaimo mayor and biologists, say it didn't happen. A&E's Mid-Island Bureau Chief Jonathan Bartlett has the story. He joins us now in our Nanaimo newsroom. Jonathan.
Hudson, the article appeared in Western Sportsman magazine. That's a hunting and fishing magazine. It was about the appearance of Humboldt squid on the west coast. Buried in the story was a quick mention of a scuba diver that was attacked by a pack of the giant squid. A story that turns out is myth.
The Humboldt squid is a newcomer to Vancouver Island waters. They started showing up on the west coast about a decade ago. And these are big squid we're talking about.
When they're in our waters, they're a little over 2 meters long, so the mantle alone is nearly a meter in length. They weigh about 20 to 25 pounds when they're here.
You probably wouldn't want to tangle with a group of these, and there are unconfirmed reports out of Mexico that fishermen have been killed after being dragged underwater by a pack of these monsters.
Potentially they're a large enough squid that if someone brought them within range with food or something like that, there may be some interaction.
It's a concern.
But when the mayor read an article in an outdoor magazine telling of a scuba diver that was attacked by squid and dragged to his death in the waters off Nanaimo, he was quite surprised.
If a giant squid had attacked somebody in Nanaimo, British Columbia, there would have been huge publicity on it.
The mayor checked online, even made inquiries with the RCMP to see if the story checked out.
I'm convinced that it's not true. I'm sure that if something of that nature had occurred, we would have heard a lot more about it than a magazine published in Edmonton, Alberta.
What upset the mayor, a longtime diver himself, was the potential harm to the local diving tourism industry, an industry worth millions of dollars.
The draw for divers to these waters is the high visibility and the plentiful marine life.
We've got life that they wouldn't see in other areas, and a lot more variety of invertebrates, as well as a lot more species of them.
Not to mention the 3 artificial reefs, formerly Canadian Navy ships. But the mayor says that even if it's a myth, stories about attacking giant squid could harm tourism here.
An active dive club or large group of divers in Alberta reading that story would have every reason to suspect that it's true. And would that interfere with their decision? Quite possibly.
More so what tends to happen is scares non-divers more than, and that hurts, the diving industry in general. It took years for people to recover from the movie Jaws.
The publisher of the magazine has since apologized for the factual error in the article and will be printing a retraction in their next edition. And for now, if there are any Humboldt squid in the waters off Nanaimo, they haven't yet reared their ugly heads.
And last summer, many of those Humboldt squid ended up washing up on Vancouver Island, mostly on the west coast, to Fino, Friendly Cove, but also Campbell River. Why they have started showing up in these waters, Graham Gillespie at the Pacific Biological Station says it could be a number of things. Global warming, changes in the chemical makeup of the ocean, just as some of the factors. An attack on humans, an attack on a human by these squid, hopefully that remains just a myth. Hudson?
All right. Jonathan, thank you. Jonathan Bartlett in Nanaimo.